You don't want to be left out of this awesome show that I will be headlining because you'll be left thinking, it should have been me. It should have been me. It should have been me! Line.
It might be 17 interviews, 16 interviews.
I wouldn't doubt that is very accurate.
Yeah, but it's always good to see you, though.
It is great to be seen.
Yeah. I have
it's
to
almost
ask.
like but it's like the novelty is worn off. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like we know it's almost like what is left? What stone is left to be unturned?
Maybe for you. I'm always super excited to see you.
Oh well, I'm really good at faking it usually.
Yeah. With seeing each other, yeah.
No, come on.
Yeah.
No, I just meant life.
It's nice to see you here. We're just miles from your adopted hometown.
Yes.
Of Hollywood, Florida.
Yes.
You're in the main event tonight.
If you watch the show, and this isn't like some joke, like lately the main event, I've been out there.
Yeah.
Televised and non-televised. Main event in the shows and flying by the seat of my pants and having a good time doing it.
The last time I saw you, though, you were on your vacation. You were on your hiatus.
God, how great was that?
How great was it?
That was all right. 3 days in, I wanted to go back to work, so it was okay. Luckily, I was very busy. I had a bunch of stand-up shows and some stuff to do in L.A., so I got to stay busy, but 3-4 days in, I went, I got to get out of here.
How long were you planning to be out for?
I was hoping for 6 months.
Okay.
Or ever.
That's not true.
And then I was like, well, 3 months would be great. And a couple weeks in, I was asked and said, I can't do it. So we got on, with a little bit of a Royal Rumble in there.
Yeah.
We had a couple weeks, but then a solid maybe 2.5 months, which is more time than I've had off in 14 years combined.
But the Royal Rumble was in your backyard.
I happened to be in town for another booking.
Yes, you told me this last time.
It's so funny. Here's what's cool. Like, a bunch of people don't know this. We set up a DZ and Friends show a couple blocks away from the arena. And, of course, unbeknownst to me, that I would be on that show, the Royal Rumble show, and in the main event of the show, so I couldn't even get over to my other booking until a little bit. I think we started the show an hour late, but it was the cool thing about the DZ and Friends show is up on the screen, they showed everybody the Royal Rumble match, watched it end, and there was about a 13-minute window where I rolled out, jumped in a cold shower, and ran across. I almost came over in my gear, which would have been so great.
Yeah.
But we weren't waiting for just me to like run on the stage and do something. We had a couple people building up to it, so I had time to do a 4-minute shower.
You also needed the fans to get over there too.
Also, everybody pouring out of there. I was walking in with a crowd of 50,000 people out of that baseball stadium and a couple blocks over, and I was like trying to be nice. I'm like, hey man, I'm 45 minutes late for my first job. This is a side job at the moment, and it was so funny. But it ended up being an awesome show because those pay-per-views, not pay-per-views anymore. Those awesome, huge events have so many fans come in from different states and countries that it's such a huge mix, and it was in my backyard, so I happened to be there. It was great.
So you're saying that's your side job for now. Is comedy, is the plan when you can't wrestle anymore for that to be your main thing?
I don't know. I want to be good at so many things. I say this all the time when I'm talking about all our WWE superstars, that they're Renaissance men and women, because you have to be able to go talk to kids in a school. You have to be able to convince people on here that you're going to be the champion. You have to be able to go talk stocks with different investors, go do commercials, do LA stuff, do crossover shows. And when you can do a little bit of everything, you can be put in a great spot. And I'm constantly put somewhere as a utility player, which I understand, but I know that still crushes my soul a little bit, but it still happens. It's part, well, what's left. But it's like, it's what happens. But I want to be great at acting, wrestling, fighting for real, being able to go talk stocks and bonds, no politics on Fox News, go do something else, and be able to do stand-up comedy, do improv. And then I go, here's everything that I've done to make myself better. If you can't help me, then maybe I need to be in a different line of work.
What about the phrase, though, jack of all trades, master of none, or you chase two chickens, you catch none, you know?
But if you already caught 3 of them chasing 2, you kind of know what the hell you're doing. Well, one, there was an egg in one, and then you have to figure out which came first.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, so that's some brain games and physical activity.
Did you realize how much of a meme it should have been me turned into, or would turn into?
Oh, yeah. No, I just caught on eventually, and I know the doctors and lawyers of the WWE universe love to glom on to something that we say and make it into something, which is great, and I appreciate that to an extent. But all you have to do is have it apply. So if someone goes, if it's The Bachelor and he chooses some lady, and you can show the girl who didn't get chosen, go, it should have been me, and put my face or something, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But when it's just like, the Dodgers lost 5-3 today, and you go, should have been me, and it's my face. Like, that doesn't apply to the meme, so you're ruining our garbage meme culture already. So double ruining it maybe makes it better. I don't know.
It's right up there with "Give me what I want."
Yes.
And then of course Snitsky's "It wasn't my fault."
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. It's Shaggy. My bad. That's Shaggy.
Who I interviewed him recently, and he's like, just dives right in. It's saying it wasn't me the whole interview. I'm like,
my God.
That's awesome, Shaggy. Like, thank you for getting it.
Shaggy live around here?
I don't think so.
No,
No.
I pictured him
No,
chilling
just
in Miami.
You. Just you living
Yeah.
in Hollywood.
Well,
Florida.
Hollywood area.
Yeah, a little bit further north from here.
Near the dog track.
Yeah, yeah. Don't you
And the
think
Denny's.
Kofi's storyline is actually very similar to your storyline? You know, someone who is paying their dues for a long time and finally gets the payoff at the end.
Yes.
Why couldn't this?
How
be
is
you?
that similar to mine? He got the payoff at the end.
Oh wow.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, this is the thing though. You've had title runs.
Yeah, sure. I have, and I've said this all morning. I go, Kofi and I have joked around about having a best of 500 series for years, and it was a different time because United States title and the Intercontinental title, a bunch of times Kofi and I had pay-per-view match after pay-per-view match and TV match, Raw and SmackDown leading to a pay-per-view match with no talking. We rarely would talk about each other or have like an extra layer to the story, or is there a reason we're fighting? It was just sometimes he won, once or twice I won, and then we go to the pay-per-view match. And even then we had such fun and chemistry till we had a counter of counters, and now we actually have a real thing where I go, I was explaining this earlier. I'm not lying when I say I'm jealous that Kofi got this. He has everyone behind him. He has the locker room behind him. But then he went above and beyond to get that Kofi Mania, a real life thing happen to where people in the back are cheering for, like, I want to be champion, but man, I can't wait for Kofi to win. This is great.
Yeah.
And I was out at the time. After a while, you don't even notice it around here. I think it's like,
Yeah, you don't even notice that. Yeah.
no, but I was out, and to get behind that and still be rooting for someone else, it's weird because we're all wanting ourselves to be the champion.
It's a working set here where we're going here. That's how the ring gets built.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that. Yeah.
It's how the chicken gets made, or the
There's
sausage.
egg and the chicken.
The egg and the chicken.
What? Yeah.
You love sausage, but you hate to see it get made.
That's it right there.
Yeah, that's
I want
the
to
one.
ask you about your match with Kevin Owens last weekend. Does the loss in 17 seconds help him more or hurt you more?
I'm so hurt that the bleeding internally doesn't even matter anymore. No, I think that helps him. And he was in a position the last couple months, wasn't doing too much. He was just being Kevin Owens and being around.
Yeah.
And I know that whether a lot of people out there are rooting for me or against me or don't care, that's fine. But to be part of a catalyst that sent him into a different direction, as much as it kills me, I was happy to be a part of it. And we could have done a 15-minute match 2/3 of the way through that pay-per-view where people were exploding through walls and going through tables, and it would have been okay and fine. That was a special moment for Kevin Owens. So I think that's better for the business and the company and the show.
Have you thought about, I mean, you're the best at selling. You are. Hands down, you're the best at selling. Have you thought about selling the stunner a la The Rock selling Stone Cold Stunner?
There's something that in this day and age, I love getting yelled at, and I love ruining shows, but I don't think that works now. And so getting your head taken off in a stunner and getting, I think the snap back or whatever crunches your chin, whatever, a real life thing that would happen.
Yeah.
It's fun to go watch those back, but in 2019 for Dolph Ziggler, that doesn't help the show.
But you're so good at selling, though. So good.
So good that I knew to make the choice to not do that. Yes.
But honestly, that's actually
Yeah, I'm giving you a pretty realistic breakdown. I'm like,
You
oh,
are.
that's funny.
Yeah.
But does that help Kevin Owens go on to, I don't know, fight somebody at SummerSlam? No.
yeah. What do you, like, if someone's coming up in the industry right now and wants to sell like you, what kind of advice do you have for them?
Don't be too good at it. It'll kill you off for 15 years. No, I'm just kidding. Billy Gunn gave me that advice when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah. He goes, "Don't be too good at your job, because then it gives you a job, but then I don't know. There's something about it that it always puts you in a place. It always makes you a utility player, which is fantastic. But if you have a chip on your shoulder, it crushes you, but it also makes you want to drive to be, I'm ready to go at all times. Well, we always have a spot for you, but it is not at the top. But also there's 59 other guys who aren't at the top, and 20 of them are sitting in catering. And you go, I'm very lucky to be here. I love doing what I'm doing. When my foot is in the door at all times, there's a chance for me to be like, hey, we need someone to fight for the title tomorrow. And out of nowhere, it could be Dolph. And at least one time in that match, the entire arena is going to believe that he's going to win. And no one else in 20 years has lost as much as I have on TV and could actually pull it off and have everyone believe. And that's the story, and that's the reality of it, that there's a reason I'm still around.
Every time your music hits, I'm like, yes, it's Dolph's time. This is going to happen.
Sorry.
No.
I'm excited. It's been a few months and years since I used to be super angry and go out there and I would be like, follow that, and throw a case of water when I came back through Gorilla, knowing that I should be the champ, but I'm not. But now I've gotten to a point where I know the deal. We all know the deal. It's going to be awesome when I'm out there. If it's 10 seconds, it's 10 seconds. If it's 30 minutes, I'm going to make it count. And I had a cage match with Kofi Kingston, which is one of my favorite stories that I've told in 10 years.
The end of that match, I like that.
That was fun. And you can only do that with Kofi. A group of us put it together because we had a couple different ideas of how to end a cage match, and we've seen them all before. And they're great, and they make noise, and it's awesome, and it's fun, and everyone will go, yeah! But I go, with Kofi, he's something special to where we forget that he can do this crazy athletic stuff. Even though we're locked in a cage, we're not really showing it off because the story is getting out or us knowing each other so well. But to have him do something that no one else could practically do makes it that much more special, but also the story was there for it. So that is how you win. That's how you tell stories without just flipping around.
Is it like, it feels like a new era as a fan here with Bischoff coming in for Smackdown, Heyman coming in for Raw.
When do they start?
You tell me.
I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Well, Bischoff was on Raw last night.
Smackdown had a live event in Fort Myers. I was very busy in the main event. No big deal.
Well, he was out as part of Raw Reunion.
Oh, so everybody was there. Okay.
I don't know.
So maybe today. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I have not seen Bischoff.
Really?
Yeah.
So this might happen sometime in the future?
It has to, right? Well, did they announce it was happening?
Smackdown is coming to Fox, yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the idea.
Is that the day that he starts? I bet he starts before then. I don't know.
You know.
I'll check my emails.
Yeah, you let me know.
Yeah,
you have an email
too.
account? Wow.
It's an AOL account.
Big D, little Z.
Yeah. It was made in 1989, but I just knew what my fake name would be one day.
I tweeted out that I was going to interview you, and
sick.
You saw that,
yeah.
And then you started responding to all these people.
We were in a little bit of Miami traffic in between appearances, so I was going to go, I'm going to answer these now and make you come up with some other questions.
I wasn't actually going to answer or ask any of those questions.
Fair enough.
They were great questions, though.
I believe you.
A lot of questions about the Cleveland Browns, though.
Oh, great.
I'm a fellow Browns fan.
No, I was explaining to someone else.
You gotta hold this in front of your face. Yeah,
sorry, I was explaining to someone else that you and I know you're a Canada guy, but Cleveland was where we first started talking, and Browns would always come up. Anything Cleveland. I'm a huge fan of Cleveland, the people, the teams, everything, and the fact that we hung around this long and we have the possibility of a winning season.
Yes,
it's pretty amazing. It's very exciting for all of Cleveland and anybody who is now starting to get behind the Browns, even if you're not a Cleveland guy. That's great.
I mean, I lived in Cleveland for 5 years, so I'm a Browns fan
Yeah.
through and through. It's kind of sad, though, that an 8-8 season would be something we'd be like, guys, 8-8.
We would trade the Cavs World Championship for 10-6. I think. I think we would trade it, and maybe a wild card, and maybe win it, maybe not. The entire city of Cleveland would put it on the line. I think.
So sad.
But we've been through the thick and thin, and now we're ready to start raking it in, and we'll see what happens.
Baker and Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. This is going to be good.
I think it's going to be good no matter what. Whether they go 16-0 or 8-8 or whatever, I think the team is going to have all of Cleveland behind them, and it's going to be so much more fun. We've had to sit through a lot of Sundays where you're excited till that game starts, and it's 14-3, 10 minutes in, and you go, it's already over and your Sunday's ruined. Then you got to go to work on Monday.
I'm more fascinated with everyone who comes to tailgate.
Yes.
And then 1 o'clock when the game starts, they pack up the truck and they drive.
At home, the beers aren't $15.50 a piece. That's for sure.
That's true.
I mean, I've heard.
You mentioned Billy Gunn giving you some advice. Who's been the person that's kind of given you the best advice throughout your WWE career?
I've gotten a lot from Pat Patterson, who has really been behind me a bunch since I want to say 8 or 9 years, maybe longer. Arn Anderson has given me some great stuff that slips through the cracks a bunch. Even John Laurinaitis behind the scenes stuff has given me. We're very lucky to have a lot of people here. A friend of mine, TJ Wilson.
Yeah. Tyson
Kidd is not only behind the scenes helping, knows everything there is to know about wrestling, and someone will go, "Hey, what did you do at I don't know, Slammiversary 2001?" And TJ will be like, "Well, actually, you fought Del Rio," and you're like, "Whoa, what?"
Wow.
So he knows that, and he has like that, like how Randy Orton has it. It's like in his body and in his makeup to know what to do, to know psychology, to know what works and what doesn't. And you mix that in with like maybe Seth Rollins and myself wanting to outdo each other, and you mix him in the mix, it makes it a match that will steal the show no matter what the situation. Yeah. So having him working with all of us it's a real gift for everybody.
Is Tyson the one who's producing your matches these days?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. When I was doing some stuff with Seth a couple months ago, we almost exclusively had him, which is great. But
I don't think people realize how important that is to your match and the storytelling in your match.
Yeah, we're lucky to have a lot of people who are legends, Hall of Famers, whatever, and there's always something to be had from them. But even like last night, IRS was helping me with something backstage, and you're like, why didn't I think of that? And I'm someone who's cocky enough. I'm learning something every day, but I love being like, dude, who's better than me? Who's going to tell me what to do out here? This is my match. And then IRS says something afterwards, and you go, God. So there's always something to learn from those guys, no matter who they are. And it is a huge difference to have that in-between, to where Vince creates this show and you have an in-between that helps you go, here's what we're going and here's what we'd like to do. And you go, here's my take on it, and you put it together. And when you have all those voices going in, usually you come out with an awesome product.
Well, I mean, you've been in here for 15 years. Is there someone that you still haven't worked with, or maybe you had a short program with them and you'd like to do that over again?
Man, I don't know.
You've really done it all.
I would like to do something long-term with AJ, because we got to do a couple different things, a couple live events, a couple shows, to where him and I just said at the beginning, we're just going to go amateur wrestle at the beginning. So we just got to like roll around and put some cradles in and kind of test each other out and feel it out, much like how you would 30 years ago when you were in separate locker rooms and you just go feel somebody out and see if they can go. And even when I was called up the first time as the caddy, I didn't know Chavo Guerrero, and he goes, "You're an amateur wrestler, get in the ring," and it rolled around and just to see like if I could go or protect myself or be there, with them. And it's kind of a cool thing that not everyone here can do. So it's fun when you have things like that.
Did you actually know anything about golf when you were the caddy?
Oh my God, nothing. So here, my whole life, I played every sport there is, all of them. I mean, soccer didn't really count then. I'm sorry. And but I played everything there was, and I get called up as a guy who helps golfers and a cheerleader. I go, it's almost like that was the only two things left that involved sports in some extent that I had nothing to do. Like astronaut would have been the only other one, but at least I knew what the outfits were, or something. And I played everything, and I was so crushed to do that. But it made the chip on my shoulder bigger, because I have to prove to everyone that I'm good at wrestling too now, because I was in these jokey things.
Yeah.
Now I have to prove myself.
Yeah.
And I went from like 2 years of having Nikki chance to like years of having Nikki chance. But you have to overcome those things. It made me better. So I was telling someone earlier today, if I was like 6'5" and a 10-time world champion, maybe I'd be phoning it in for real, other than just saying I am, because I'm going to be the champion anyway. Why do I care? This makes me want to go, I'm going to outdo you tonight no matter what spot I'm in.
You famously said to me in an interview like 6 years ago that if you were 6 inches taller and weighed 30 pounds more, you'd be the 5-time champion.
And back then 5, probably 10 now. Yeah, but also I don't know that I would care as much. I might be like, I'm going to be fine either way, so I'll just see you guys at work, instead of sitting at home and watching a movie and going, the way that guy got shot in the thigh, I can make that work when someone kicks me in the stomach, and tie that in every time. Wow. I can't not do it. So that's the part where you're always learning too. It's not just wrestling stuff. It's someone getting knocked out in a boxing match who fell through the ropes. We never see that. Maybe that should be happening sometime in a knockout.
Wow.
So you're constantly trying to be different and better than everybody else in a positive way.
That's amazing that you're taking things from other elements and bringing it to wrestling. Well,
Yeah.
you certainly do that with rock music. You do.
Certainly.
Certainly. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess rock music kind of counts. My pants always have some kind of cool Motley Crue tone to them, or whenever I can. I'm going to see a Motley Crue and AC/DC cover band this week at Joe's Grotto. Big deal.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I don't know that I have one, but if I did, every once in a while I think about one that I would have. But I'd also want people to sing along, because after a minute, you lose the novelty of having it, and you're like, oh, we're all gonna do 4.5 minutes plus the interlude. It's like, no, give me a minute to keep everyone rocking, and then cut it loose.
I think what happens is people hear it's a song, they go, oh, that'll be good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
Sweet, Caroline, great.
Yeah.
Okay, there's 7 more minutes. This was fun.
Or they'll go, let's see how good this guy is.
Right. And then, that third chorus, he's kind of losing it now, and he lost the crowd. You just want to have Nothing But a Good Time by Poison, and they're like, nothing but a good time. Yeah, right, guys? And then you walk up the stage, and then just go, always leave them wanting more. Old Hollywood trick.
That's great.
Always.
That's a wrestling trick,
That's
too,
why I did a 17-second match last week.
Always want them leaving more.
Or leave them wanting more. Either way you want to word it.
I said it wrong.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
But I appreciate that you set me up to say it right to camera.
I planned that. I wrote it down on my cards.
Like Laurel and Hardy.
Yep. I wrote it down. There it is right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. Huh. See it? Okay.
Cash residual check for Much Music? What's that?
Yeah,
Congrats.
see the cash residuals I got. Yeah,
a couple of toonies coming your way?
Wow, great Canadian joke.
Thank
there,
you.
Dolph
I'm getting
Ziggler.
ready for my big Toronto show, DZ and Friends, the night before SummerSlam. No big deal. After NXT, at the Rec Room, SummerSlam Eve, DZ and Friends, there's always tons of surprise guests, comedians, skits, and a couple of super kicks.
Rec Room's a great venue, too.
I've never been there. I'm very excited for it.
You're going to love it. Last interview, we talked about, I mentioned my girlfriend and referred to her as the current girl.
I referred to her as that, I believe.
Yeah, I got a lot of flack for that.
I know, but
sorry.
I feel like
Elena's
it was all in
her
good
name.
fun.
Hi, honey.
So whoever this one is, too, seems very nice.
Oh,
wow. She's here. So we were having some good fun, and clearly that was fun, but you're allowed to get flack. Tell everyone to chill out a little bit.
You can tell
maybe.
them that.
Everybody
current
chill
girl's
out.
Great.
Yeah,
right?
she's great. And she's still the current girl, which is pretty, the longest relationship I can think of was probably however long a lap dance is. So I can't think of anything that long. Congratulations.
You pick longer songs.
Yeah, you always go with something really long. Like Maggot Brain or something 20 minutes long. Anything by Zeppelin. That's how you get it. Get the bang for your buck. $20 cash plus tip? Come on, I'm getting 8 minutes.
You also tweeted that 2025 you're going to be done with wrestling. I thought that was a great joke.
Well, let's see. Technically, I'd be inaugurated in 2020.
Oh, yeah, you're being the president. Yeah, I forgot you were running for president. Yeah.
Yeah, so 2025. Yeah, I just signed an 11-year deal, 11-year 3-month deal.
Amazing.
You probably heard about last week.
Of course.
And so 2025, I'm gonna ask for a little time off just to do a little bit of running and hopefully a big contribution from the big man upstairs.
Yep.
We'll
God?
see.
Oh, Vince.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
What was it was leave them wanting more. Always
leave them wanting more. They even made a Seinfeld episode about it to where
that's right.
George gets a laugh and goes, "That's it for me," and he leaves. It's true.
We'll do that right now.
All right.
Yeah,
that's it for us.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Thanks for tuning in with Chris Van Vliet and Dolph Ziggler.
I hope you got some good stuff today, and even if you didn't, it was free. So
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
That's it for us. Thanks, buddy. Old insider lingo, walk and talk.
We're walking and talking. Thank you for the interview, as always.
Of course, yeah. One of these days we're going to run out of things to talk about.
Oh, never.
I think I leaked enough inside info that it'll get you talked about a little bit more than usual, get me just a little bit the right amount in trouble, and then set us up for the next time for you to have a couple continuation questions about what about this? Last time we checked, our heroes were going, the Duke boys were going up the ramp, and then we froze. We got to come back next week, and then you'd be like, "Oh, here's what happens."
Right.
Totally got fired.
Yeah.
Anyway, are you hiring a guy to get you coffee or something? And then I'll be like, "Because I need a new assistant also."
We're backstage here. I feel like we could see our truth.
Well, I feel like this must be what Goldberg feels like.
Oh, it is.
When he shows up or whatever. Yeah.
This is the walk, though.
Probably.
This is.
Well, I feel like he has more people leading him along because it's really tricky. You're not sure to go left or right or straight.
We have 4 people in front of us leading us.
That's true, but I'm kind of watching the camera and kind of checking my hair the whole time. So
It looks great.
doesn't it?
Yeah, really good. Thank you again.
Of course, always.
You're the man. I appreciate you always.
Well, you
Don't
are
trip here,
very
okay?
accurate in your estimation of my manlyhood.
Yes.
I am a high school graduate, by the way.
And a college graduate.
Equivalent. Well, yeah, but first things
You're a
first.
college Hall of Famer.
No big deal. I just wanted to hear you say it. Thank you.
There it is.
Now we know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank me.
Yeah, there you go. You're thanked.